guys, this is Carrie. This is a vlog, so it's not a typical edited or any kind of semblance of order. So, and this is definitely not going to be edited because I am very, very short on time. But I promised and I wanted to make another vlog in 2023. Just made the cusp, and every time I sat down or wanted to sit down to record this, something came up. It has been so crazy. I alluded to it in my last video where like every week I was living a new life. It got kind of insane, and it's still insane. And then I was going to sit down and record just to like, hey, let's not care, how I do like in the car and that kind of stuff. I never really had that either the energy or that opportunity to record, and my face has been breaking out with stress pimples, so I definitely needed a little bit of makeup on. I have very, very little, just enough to make me look human, because I'm a lizard people. Shout out Y-Files. Anyway, so I'm going to try to keep this short without burying one of the leads or whatever. Fel Harper and I are fostering 2 puppies, and they are downstairs, and they have taken all of my attention, her attention. They were 8 weeks when we got them last week, so they're turning 9 weeks right now. And they will be up for adoption in the new year. So next week, hopefully they will get taken soon. It will definitely be bittersweet because they're squishy puppies. So when they're tired and they want to come snuggle with you, I'm a dog person. So I love that they come snuggle me, and Cecily will be with me. So like at some points I'll have like 3 dogs on me. I'm just lounging on the couch with them, sleeping. And I just love that. But I also look like I am a DV victim, and so they bite everywhere. Oh wow, you can't really see on the screen, but trust me, I have bruises everywhere. So it will be nice to get my time back and be able to use it how I want to use it, to be able to just come in my studio and record. I've really missed that like autonomy. So that's why I was like, you know what? I put in my hours with the dogs this morning, so Fel Harper can take the next hour or so. That's why this needs to be short and won't be edited, because I do want it up before the new year. So yes, so this is just going to be me filling you in on my life if you're interested at all in what's been happening. There's not going to be any major news for any kind of gaming or entertainment news, that kind of thing. So I will see you next year for that, because hopefully I will get my schedule in order so that I can start producing content on a regular basis. So let me start. In November, as you recall, I tried doing that internship. I had 3 internships. One was at a gaming website, which I wrote 1 article with, but then I dropped because I realized the pro-con ratio of time spent versus what I would get out of the agreement just was very unbalanced. The second one was at a film studio, and I did drop them after realizing that they unfortunately were kind of using interns in place of employees, and it wasn't very organized. And some of what they said we would get through the internship, such as networking opportunities, they couldn't actually, get to that commitment. So I did, politely drop them. I would love to work with them in the future in some capacity. They are all great people, so I don't knock the studio itself. It just wasn't a good opportunity for me. And so the third one I have officially named publicly. So I am I started as an intern at Wonder Women Tech, and it helps empower humans to, especially BIPOC and women, but obviously any other sort of outliers, that are not, straight white men in STEM. So that's science, technology, engineering, mathematics. They added A, so now it's STEAM because it's art. And so I am officially the audio editor, producer for the podcast, and I'm helping a little bit with the content production. So that actually has a lot of networking opportunities. I'm going to be working with a partner of Wonder Women Tech in 2024. So that hasn't been set up yet, but I'm really excited. I do feel a commitment towards this, so I definitely want to make sure that I am giving that, it's our agreed upon was like 10 hours a week. So I actually am about to finish editing the podcast, this one other podcast, because we have a few episodes. It'll be premiering January 9th, I think. I'm sorry, I don't have the calendar next to me. I think it's a Thursday. Anyway, so so it's not next week, but the week after is our premiere for season 3. So it's kind of it has this like revamp because it had just unfortunately, when you get busy, things do need to be prioritized. And so the podcast kind of took a step back in Wonder Women Tech because they didn't have someone in the position I am now and to really kind of help. So they are excited. I'm excited. It's really great. So aside from that, I started a part-time contract work with my former employer, and that was supposed to be 1 to 2 months. We were kind of like, kind of feeling it out. Before the end of the first month, right before Christmas, I did get one of these. So I went to those 2 interviews that I had mentioned before. One was an implementation specialist. The other one was a project specialist. I was offered both, but I went with the project specialist at Matrix Marketing. So I will be putting that on my LinkedIn soon. I just want to my first day is January 3rd. So I'm going to wait till February before I announce it publicly, but you guys are cool. It was a little bit of a pay, not a decrease, because it's right about what I was making before I left to become a full-time voiceover artist. The implementation specialist was going to pay literally about $20,000 to $25,000 more in the salary. Yes, not $2,500, $25,000. It was not an easy decision for me to make, but ultimately my issue has always been job hopping, going where the money is and not really going where my heart is. And some other factors were kind of put into it. At Matrix, they are expanding. And so they have passed that startup position. And so now they are a legitimate small business that is growing. So the position that I am going to be in really kind of utilizes me in what I do best. I am great at implementation and, writing training and marketing and process workflows and stuff, both inside the company and out of the company. So all of these different processes, dealing with customers and clients. And so, as the company grows, it is this position. I am going to be growing with it. So right now I'm starting as a project specialist, then I'll be project manager and ultimately project director. So it is a great opportunity for growth. I get to express what I learned as a project management professional certified. And it is an advertising and marketing company. And so while I am not doing the actual marketing because I don't want to be a graphic designer and that kind of stuff, I get to work with the creative content side of it, but then the overall workflow. So I get to have my hands in all of the pots, which I like. I'm kind of a nosy busybody, but that's what I'm getting paid for. I hate when I'm in my own section and I get branched out with these responsibilities, but it doesn't show in my title. I'm one of those people. I take pride in what I do and I want to show it to others. So this is a really great spot for me to be in. I'm very excited to start. And right now it is hybrid, so I can work from home 3 to 4 days a week, depending on what is happening. There is some travel for events and for huge client, if we're actually shooting something that needs, all hands on deck. They do have sales and other, departments that do those as well. So again, I'm kind of managing cross-functional teams and departments, but I get to experience those in certain ways. So I'm just really excited about that. But like that, they were starting me January 3rd. And so my 1 month with the contract work is supposed to be up January 4th. So I told them that I was, I did receive this as a full time. It's an actual career job. So it's not just like, part-time, whatever. And, but I would honor the second month if they needed me. The part-time was originally going to be between 16 to 20 hours a week. Now I told them I could really only commit to 10 to 15 hours a week for the second month. They did decide to keep me on. So it's going to be busy. I'm going to have a full-time job that I'm learning. I've got this, the part-time contract gig that I'm still working on. And I have 3 audiobooks that I'm going to narrate soon. Some of them, they're all starting different times in the beginning of the new year. They just said like January. 2 of them are just January. 1 is a little bit sometime within 2024. They do want, did I say 22? I'm going backwards in time. Anyway, so I am nervous. I am an anxious person. And so I just want to make sure everything is all pretty and neat and tied up in a bow. And sometimes you don't know. You don't know what your schedule is. But I'm confident I do have the time because I'm confident in my capabilities for all of these areas. So it's nothing that I'm going to have to struggle with. It's more just fitting it into the time slots. So that was that. I had a lovely Christmas. And so there is another personal news that just in case people see this right before, I'm not going to announce it here, but if you are interested, it will be up on social medias. We're going to do a photo shoot New Year's Eve day and release some personal information. You could probably guess what that's going to be, but in the new year, I'm sure I will let you know. But I'm not going to say it in this video. So that's all with that. And then, what was it? I mean, I was traveling. The neighborhood let us know, Nextdoor, that app. So they said, hey, all of the shelters are completely booked up. Dogs are being euthanized literally just because there's no space. So they were asking for like emergency foster homes, basically. So there was very specifically this senior dog who only needed this on a Thursday. I saw this, that they would be needed a foster until that next Tuesday. And then there should be a slot open, I think, because, they could switch out. And so I applied to be an emergency foster for that dog. And by the time my application went through, the dog had found another foster. Thank goodness. No euthanasia. It was a happy ending. But I listed as another contact Fell Harbor, my sister. And so she picked up the phone and they were like, hey, instead of the senior dog, can you take a puppy? And she said yes. And then we were going to get the puppy on Monday. I think it was like on a Sunday or Saturday afternoon, maybe. So yeah, it was Thursday then through. So like sometime that weekend, I got a call and they said, how about 2 puppies? Can you do 2 puppies? So we said, okay. So again, I was picking him up on Monday and I was like, but we were expecting not to have any dog in our home by Tuesday because of the senior dog. So it was a little bit weird. So I had to tell the foster people, I'm like, we are going out of town for Christmas. And she said, I trust you guys. Normally you're not supposed to travel with foster dogs. Because these are puppies, we're not allowed to bring them to like a public park or anything, but we did get, because everything is in dire straits, we did get permission to take them with us to my parents' house. So that went well. No issues or anything. It was just, it's a headache when you're babysitting, basically, like these 2 puppies, they need your attention. So they are crated at night. We especially at that house, we crate them when we cannot be there. Luckily, we have been able to be there pretty much all the time. So again, Christmas they stayed in the crate a little bit longer than usual, so like 3 hours during the day and then the 8-hour night. But yeah, around here they're only crated at night. There was we had to go food shopping, so they got crated for like an hour or two while we were out. But because, Fell Harbor works from home and I am pretty much unemployed or whatever, we've had full availability at home. So it's been great for them. So New Year's Eve is going to be the first day that they're going to spend a few hours during the day at our home in the crate. So I do feel bad. I am one of those. I support crating for safety and health issues. So I understand, obviously, like at a kennel or at the vet, like they have to be crated. So Cecily, my Italian Greyhound, is trained in crate trained. So if needed, and as a puppy, she was crated, especially when she was being babysat. But it's just something about being locked in a cage. I know I wouldn't want that, and so it's just not fair to, in my opinion, to do to an animal unless absolutely necessary. So again, these 8-week-old puppies need constant supervision because it's just, you think your house is puppy-proofed and baby-proofed, they will find a way to make something dangerous. So they need to be crated at night for their safety. And so they're both rather small, and this is a large dog sized crate. So they have room to completely stand. They could completely be separate. They have a bed, and then we have put a pee pad. They are, for the most part, pee pad trained. They do have mistakes, but if they see it in sight, they'll use it. And they have been going outside potty, so we've had some success. But again, they're 8-9-week-old puppies now. So, but anyway, yeah. So it's just I'm a hippie dog mom, so I try to give them as much, or any animal really that I live with, as much respect and dignity as I can. And I realize that we have to follow governmental laws and regulations, again, for health and safety for everyone involved. But I don't like owning and feeling that master over the animal. You know what I mean? Cecily's not my pet. She's my animal companion. And that's just that mentality that's why I don't really like crates unless absolutely necessary. So just wanted to put that out there as, whatever. That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to start an argument or anything with someone if they completely, they crate their animals, because what you do in your home, that's how you handle your home. This is how I handle my home. But, it is weird to, that I have to follow the foster guidelines. So some things that I do with Cecily, I can't do with these foster puppies. So, yeah, it's sad. But anyway, so they've barely been taking up a lot of my time. But another news that I have that I just remembered I wanted to talk about was my rebranding, or my reverse branding. So, to kind of recap, 2023, it was the second year of my full-time voiceover business. Everything went to shit. I lost a lot of my clients because of the AI clauses. And just, yeah, basically half of my business went to either they automated now or I couldn't sign the contracts. And unfortunately, none of my marketing outreach. I got a lot of I've met people, and I got a lot of oh, I'll add you to our roster. So if an audition comes around, we can email you. But I didn't get any new clients. I got a few, but they were one-off clients. So it wasn't a regular thing. They just said, hey, can you voice this one thing, And so it just was not stable and not what I wanted. I was really lucky that in 2022, my first year, I broke even. I didn't lose a cent. Didn't really gain a cent, but again, when you're putting in budget, so I was making enough. I got back from the the government and that kind of stuff. So I was doing well. It was really promising. This year just wasn't. Some things have completely just changed in their processes. A lot of people, it's not just me, a lot of people in the industry are noticing, the pay-to-play sites and other things things just aren't working the way they once had. And again, voice acting and acting in general will always be a passion of mine. I have always wanted to be an entertainer, and I took that and I rediscovered what success means to me. And it's still a process. I'm not completely there. I have expressed how heartbroken, honestly, I was in thinking that I'm giving up my dream. Voice acting will probably never be a full-time profession for me. A lot of people don't make it, but a lot of people do. So if you are a voiceover artist, I'm still in the industry. I'm still hanging on. So I'm sure I still have advice and such, because like that, I have been around for 10 years and I have some ideas in the next year of how to stay relevant in the industry. I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. I keep my nails have been anyway. Yes, I'll still be relevant in the industry. Hopefully, I'm going to kind of focus on local Atlanta and just kind of being a big fish in the small pond sort of thing. But so stick around. I'm going to try to be positive and remain positive, but also be honest. And I think that I've had to be honest with myself this year. So I did get the certification of project management professional, and I really wanted to kind of dive into the media, entertainment, film, that sort of animation on the back end. I really wanted to be a producer. Right now, I think it's actually what I want to do is be a production manager. So not necessarily a producer, but it's like basically a project manager, but the projects are creative. And I think I've found that with Matrix Marketing as a project specialist, and I get to grow in this position and really form it to how I see my career going, and I'm excited for that, and I also want to be a little bit more involved, as I said, in the Atlanta community through Wonder Women Tech, and really just kind of like that, make my name in the industry in the capacity that fits me. You know what I'm saying? And so I did rebrand. I am back to Voice of Fairy Tales, but more so than that, my company is Favole Productions. It's all about the story, right? Because I've done a lot of marketing, and so I feel confident in being a consultant in a certain capacity. I have been a presenter at elementary schools, at conventions, that sort of thing. I've done over 40 e-learning presentations, over 400 whiteboard, explainer videos. And while I might not have written that content, I am a script writer. And I do have that marketing side of things, so I could write that for a client. But I also know how to engage the listener so that the message really kind of resonates with somebody. So I have all of that aspect to be a presenter and a consultant. So essentially, if you had a presentation that you wanted to present, and you just needed a spokesperson, a representative that has that charisma on stage, that's kind of what I'm trying to express through that aspect of things. So I'm a project manager, and a stage manager even, and a video editor and an audio editor. All that kind of production stuff kind of comes transfunctionally. What's that word I'm looking for? It's all cohesive, right? And then there's voice acting and being an entertainer. So there's the on the stage, and then there's the back end planning. There's the post production. That all falls into Favole Productions. And so as a voice actor, I am the voice of fairy tales because my last name is Italian for fable or fairy tale. So literally, voice of fairy tales. I also have, I'm just, the presenter. And so I've split my website essentially into voice acting, the entertainer, which is Cypress, and then presenter and consultant. And I'm really happy with it because it pulls from all 10 years of my business journey. A lot of the designs and the branding, I've been able to actually return. So some of I used to, way back in the day, crimson was my color. Right now it's like mint and teal and stuff. So I was able to add that in with cohesively with the Champagne of VoiceOver, which was the 2023 branding. And so I was able to kind of still use that, but just erase the tagline for the consulting side. So I'm really happy with what I did. Budget was zero. I did all of the work. Almost all of my branding was done by my wonderful, talented friend, Ray Stiles. So he built my website in 2023. I changed it for this. I do want to kind of pass it along so that I get his input when I have the budget to get that done. So just polish it up a little. But I think for what it is now, my goal was to get it done for 2024, and it is done now. All of my, my social media is cohesive in that one rebranding, and so it really doesn't change day to day because again, that is like my freelance kind of side hustle, but it is important for me on a mental aspect to validate all aspects of what I do. So my day job as a project specialist still very much is relevant to what I am passionate about, because it is all about the story. No matter what you're doing, a service, a product, a project, whatever, it's a story. It's a problem that you're solving. It's that communication, that connection, and so that's really what it's all about. It's just kind of consolidating all of that. So I will still be auditioning, but I'm going to focus on trying to get those character work that has been my dream this entire time, animation, video games. I have enjoyed audiobooks because I do get to bring those characters to life. And I'm just not going to focus so much on trying to get commercials or, even the presentations, those type of things that I enjoy any time I get to be in the studio in front of a mic, I am happy. But those aren't what I get up for in the morning, And then also, as I said, to validate my Cypress channel, which is this, and my gaming channel that I run with my sister, those, I still feel like that is content creation. I am still being an entertainer. And I have always struggled with what I want versus, the responsibilities, So even in college, I had two jobs rather than, trying to be a stagehand in a theater play because, again, the money, the responsibility always won out. And so I definitely want to put aside time for me in a creative aspect because as a project specialist, I might have my hands in everything, but I'm not really that designated person, to write it or to create, to come up with it. So I do want that on the other side of where I can create the mini series that I've been dying to write for my channel come out. I have 4 other books planned for my Cecily. It's a 5-book compilation. Could be more at the end. I'll see. But I had 5 planned, and I haven't written any of the others. Just kind of. A lot of people have been talking about. It's funny when they meet me and stuff about my how I should have a podcast and do stories and that kind of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I have done that. So I'm still open to doing a podcast. Right now, I'm kind of helping Wonder Women Tech with their podcast, and I think I'll revisit that maybe second quarter in 2024. This first quarter is really settling into what my life is going to be like. My career as a project specialist, my passion career in voiceover and in that industry, just really kind of making my name and finding my place, specifically in Atlanta, but obviously globally as well. So I'm really excited for what 2024 it has in store. I'm definitely, disappointed in some of the realities of 2023. But overall, this just feels like, not necessarily feels right because, having my dream come true would feel right. But this feels safe and stable and secure, which is definitely what I need right now in my life. And especially as I progress and have other dreams and aspirations, I need that stability in my career. I have focused all of my life on building a career, and I've never found the right place. So I think I finally did find it. It just reminds me back in the day when you ask, a fourth grader what they want to do for their life when they grow up, and they're like, oh, be a vet or be an accountant or whatever. I never, except for entertainer, I never had an idea. So I think I've finally figured out what fits what I'm good at and what I enjoy. And yeah, and that's it. So I talked longer than I was anticipating, but I think I got out everything that I was going to mention and talk about. So yeah, I did get a tattoo, and I don't know if I ever showed you guys. I don't know if you guys care, but I can show you. It's my mantra, this too shall pass. And it's just helped me get through a lot of struggles, and also helped me stay in the moment for some really great family moments and memories. So I think that will do it. So happy holidays, happy new year to everybody. And I will be coming out with more content once I get my schedule set, as I discussed. So yeah, till next time, stay crazy.